Enter you, family and friends. Good evening, everybody. You are at the wedding ceremony of Erin and Casey Ralston. If you've reached this wedding in error, please leave a six-pack of beer on the sand and kindly excuse yourself. My name is Tim Wong. I'll be officiating this blissful event today. Enter Casey. I first met Casey over 5 years ago while I was trying to convince a few friends that 10 p.m. was way too early to call it a night on a Friday night. So we ended up at the Aero Club, primarily because I knew there was this bartender there that knew everything and anything about hockey. Instead, I got Casey that night. But there was something about him that made me think, that's the guy that I could really hang out with. And I know, everybody talks about people that hit on bartenders. And trust me, I've done the same, but they were always women. So the night went on, and I was thinking, hey man, do you play poker? And he says, yeah. I said, well, when do you work next? And he said, Sunday. I said, I'm going to bring some chips, poker chips, and some cards, and we're going to have a game. He said, that sounds great. You're not going to come, but that sounds great. But I did. And that Friday night started a long string of Friday nights for Casey and me. And I think often about what would have happened if on that Friday I decided to call it an early night. Enter Erin. About over a year into our friendship at the Aero Club, some call it slave labor, I call it friendship, I started hearing about this blonde woman. Not just a blonde woman, but one that actually intimidated Casey. He said there's just something about this girl. I don't know, she's super fun, she's super cute, she's every guy's dream. I'm just a little bit intimidated by that. And a few weeks later I actually met her. I think that was the night that Erin threw a purse at Casey, or something. I actually don't know. I've seen a lot of things fly at Casey over the years. But I immediately understood where the intimidation came from. And it wasn't the purse. It's this unknown entity that forces people out of their comfort zone to risk everything in order to get even more. Enter marriage. That's why we're here today. To celebrate a joining of two into one. A union that could not have been more perfect if it was created from blueprints. But that's the thing about love. It has no map, no blueprint, and no bounds. It has its errors, but always ends up winning. It has its downs, but it will never surpass the ups. And even if there are days when nothing seems to be going right, with true love it starts to feel like nothing can go wrong. In one of many nights of drinks, after drinks, after drinks, Casey turned to me and said, you know you're with the right person when people start telling you you belong together. I don't know if this was in reference to the yin and the yang, or the pizza and the beer, but I knew in that moment that he was not giving me advice, but confessing his reality. Now this is the point where I should probably read to you some ancient poem about love and marriage and weddings, or biblical passages. But I actually think the best poets of love were from the hair metal bands of the 80s. So I'm going to spare you, and I'm going to compromise by leaving you with a quote from the late George Carlin. He said, I am is reportedly the shortest sentence in the English language. Could it be that I do is the longest sentence? Enter the bride and the groom. Erin and Casey have invited you all here today to share and witness the newest chapter of their lifelong journey together. As part of that, they have written personal vows to one another, and I ask that they be exchanged at this time. Casey?
Well, I didn't do quite as good a job as my friend Tim here. I didn't memorize mine, but I do have them written. The first time I met Erin, I saw something in her that I'd been missing in most of the people that I'd met since moving from Iowa to California. While Southern California offers a lot of things that the Midwest doesn't, like beaches and surf, And, well, it says here perpetual 72-degree weather. Sorry, everybody. And the opportunity to live your day-to-day life without owning a window scraper. One thing it doesn't always offer is warm people. The day I met Erin, I didn't know she was from Wisconsin, or maybe I should say I didn't know she was from Wisconsin. At least not until she opened her mouth. But what I did know is that I saw something in her that I'd been missing. Erin has in her an honesty, a capacity for emotion, a desire to seek out fun, the ability to deal with adversity that only comes from being able to shovel snow and owning galoshes or rubbers for you Wisconsinites. When Erin's happy, she laughs sincerely. When there's a task to be done, she works earnestly. If the work is dirty, she gets soiled without complaint. And when she loves you, she does so without reservation or pretense. Over the past 5 years, we've shared in countless adventures. We've ridden the roller coaster that is the Southern California real estate market. We've undertaken a house remodel that could best be compared to a drive through the Iowa countryside. You can see your destination across miles and miles of flat, open road, yet it never gets any closer. We spent countless amazing hours with her two wonderful boys, watching horse lessons, working through spelling words and math problems, rooting for the defense at flag football games, and laughing together at some things that were appropriate and other things that were less so. And through it all, we've loved each other the way only two people from the Midwest can love